What's up YouTube, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video about the Pulsar F250. So this one is the new bike that I own. I had an Interceptor second hand, I sold it, I picked this up. If you want to check out the other videos as to why I did that, please check out my other videos, and also interesting topics about the Interceptor and also a couple of vlogs which I did on that bike. So coming back to the point, the Pulsar F250, I have completed the first service. So what they have done and what is that is the positives and also the areas of improvement. That is what I'm going to focus on. There are 5 positives and I believe 3 areas of improvement for this bike. So what are those? That is what you're going to check out in this video. So coming to the positives, the bike first of all looks fabulous, especially in this red color. It has all the necessary creases, cuts and creases, and also the bike is very muscular, especially that tank. So the design part of the bike and also the appearance is really nice, and it gives a very big bike look. And also it has this front dome for the F version, so it makes it more sporty and also purposeful. The second best thing about the bike is the performance. This is a 250cc mill which is DTSI twin spark and comes with around 21 Nm of torque, which is really good, and also the bhp is around 24 bhp, so which is really nice, and that is good. The power, with that power you can easily cruise around like 100 to 110 kilometers per hour, and that is without stressing the engine. You can go beyond that. I think the top speed is roughly around 130, again depending on the weight, so that is there, and for a 250 that is adequate. The third thing is the components that Bajaj has chosen to give this vehicle, especially like for example the oil radiator, so that is good. It doesn't have an regular water coolant radiator, that is more complex and it adds to the weight. But rather than that, where they went with the tried and tested method of taking it from the younger brother, which is the Pulsar 220, and gave it a bigger grill and also a bigger oil cooler, so that is nice. It also has a single channel ABS, which is nice, and also it is from Cremica. I believe it is more in competition with Vibri, so that is also there, but it comes with single channel ABS. The other important bits is get a USB charger, which is nice to charge your phone or else the GoPro. The instrumentation pod is a part analog and a digital, beautiful looking unit. They call this something like an infinity floating display, which has DTE, AFE, and it has all the telltale signs, including the time, which I feel is most important, and also a gear shift indicator. And that is good. So minimalistic but also good. Bluetooth functionality will just add up to the overall cost, so hence Bajaj decided not to go with that. The other important bit is the flexible type turn indicators. So this is borrowed from the elder brothers, which is the KTM, and these are really good and consumes less of battery. Also durability, it is good. Again, on the necessary features bit, it gets a slipper clutch, 5-speed gearing, so which is adequate for the power and torque. It has DTSI engine, so which helps in better mileage and also improved combustion. It gets 2 stands, so one main stand and also a side stand. It has a lot of sensors, like it has a side stand sensor as well as an indicator. It has the service reminder. It also has a couple of other sensors to make it more practical, as well as make it more safer. Also on the features front, it gets the dual pod projector headlamp, so which is nice, and the throw is also good, and it is an LED unit, and it also gets this pilot headlight, so which is also nice. tubeless tires, and the other bit is that the alloy treatment is also nice. This is again borrowed from the NS, and also it is tried and tested because NS was there in the market for roughly around like 10 years. So these alloys are tried and tested. And apart from that, I think the suspension also is purposeful. It has a mono suspension which is adjustable, and also the front is a telescopic unit, which is I believe the thicker ones, 33 mm ones, and this telescopic is also good for our Indian condition rather than the upside down forks. Also, the design of the fairing is very thoughtful, so especially if you have to change the front portion of it, you have to just remove 2 screws and the entire portion comes forward. So they have thought about this also very carefully, so that also is nice. And I think the final touch would be the engine. The engine is sourced from the KTM series, the 250 series, and also the Dominar. So the lower part of the engine is the casing and all is more from the 250s of the KTM and the Dominars. Bajaj has mostly done the work on the head part of it. So keeping it simple was the mantra for this, and also cost effective, and also giving the necessary bits which is required for long touring, for comfortable touring, and also for city riding. That is what Bajaj went for. So number 3 would be the price for 1,75,000, and this is including every tax possible. And also depends on the state. On-road price for 1,70,000, you get a lot of bike for the money, because first of all 250cc, second thing is it has good power and torque to keep you above 110 kilometers per hour, and it also has all the necessary safety bits like tubeless tires, single channel ABS. It also has the part analog and digital instrumentation console, gear position indicator. So everything from a safety point of view, like a side stand indicator, everything is there. And for that money you can't ask, because at that money usually you get like your 160s and 180s vehicle. Like for example the X-Blade, it's costing roughly around the same ballpark figure. And also the 150cc MT Yamaha, so that also is more or less, or in fact little more expensive than this. So for 1,75,000 you get a lot of bike for the money, so that also is a very good thing. Fourth thing is more on comfort. The bike has a very broad seat, especially for the rider and as well as for the pillion, and the comfort is enhanced by the mono suspension, which is really good. It soaks most of the bumps and it is really pliant. And also for the highways, it is it inspires confidence to chuck it in the corners, so that also is good. And also on the comfort side, it gets this clip-on handlebars which are raised, and there's no much of leaning that you have to do, but it is good. And it checks all the right boxes. The seat height also is not that intimidating. It is really accessible, and also you can rest be assured that the lower seat height doesn't impact the overall ground clearance. It has a good ground clearance. In fact, it is better than the 220. 220 had one of the issues was that it had a lower ground clearance, but this one is little more better than the 220, so that also is covered. And the fifth point is the cost of ownership. Like for example, for the first service they only charged me around $700 for the oil, and for the other consumables, but rest apart from that most of it was free. But if it is a paid service as well, Bajaj ownership is really low, and hence you pay very less for this bike in terms of service or spares or repairs, anything like that. So that is also one of the important things. And on top of that, the mileage of the vehicle is roughly around 35 to 40 kilometers if you're driving between 55 to around 70 and if your speed is between that, you will certainly get an average of between 35 to 40, so which is also good considering that it is a 250. Yeah, so those were the positives. Now coming back to the areas of improvement, or that I feel that Bajaj could have given it probably as an option as well, because considering this is a 250. First one would be the exclusion of dual channel ABS. At least they could have given it as an option and charged whatever the cost it is for the customer as an option. But I don't think we have it for this. Unlike the TVS, they give it as an option for the Apache, so that is there. So Bajaj could have also given, because it's a 250cc bike, you tend to go a little fast, and when you slam on the rear brake, it swings. So you have to be careful if you're on a speed, and if you're more of a person who uses rear brake, and in some cases in panic situations we tend to do it. That time the rear swings because of the speed. But again, mostly we professional riders, they mostly stop the bike by using the front brake. But I would say a combination of 70 to 30 is what it is. 75% you should mostly use the front brake, and 30% is rarely we have to use it to overall stop the bike. So the exclusion of dual channel ABS is the first negative. The second negative was the missing issue that was very predominant. If you're driving between 20 to 25 kilometers, the bike used to get lesser fuel, and because of which it used to pretend like as if there's no fuel, even though there was fuel. So that missing issue, for me, it got resolved after the software update. If you want to check out that other video, you can check out on my channel. Please do that. So that also, probably that could have been a positive, or in fact that could have not been a negative over here. But yes, as when I took the bike, that was there, and later it got resolved. So hence I'm putting it as a negative. And also there are other YouTubers who have complained about the missing issue. And number 3 is I would say more on the overall build quality. I would say there is, I think, 5 to 10% of areas of improvement, because for example, you see this play. So there is a slight play, and this play is not sure what it is, but I have tightened the screw, but still that play is there. So in some areas, I think there is the most of the service part of it, the areas of improvement should improve. While I took this bike for the service was done, but the water wash was not done. There was some kind of an excuse for that water wash. Again, I had to go second time, so that also was there. And I think it's more to do with the professionalism and also the emphasis on service, especially when we take these premium bikes, because it gets merged with the other 150s or 180s. This loses its speciality. There should be some kind of a special treatment for this, and also focus should be more on quality of service. So those were the 5 positives and 3 negatives of owning a Pulsar F250, and also my first free service experience. They costed me around, as I said, around 700 and change, $750. And for that they have done everything. In fact, they have also lubed in some places, and also they have checked all the sensors, especially the ABS sensor. In some cases, I've checked in few videos that the ABS sensor goes off once when dust or after the water wash is done. So for me, it didn't happen like that. So that also is there. So I hope you enjoy this walk around shoot. If you do so, please like and subscribe to my channel. This is Kevin signing off, and more videos to come. Please do subscribe and stay connected. Bye bye.